Good morning. Raptor Freak here, Alexiot's here. It's Wednesday finally, and we're getting another game since Brooklyn on Sunday. Finally, oh my gosh, 2 days off after a loss is always too much time, always way too much time. I'd like to get back out there and start playing again because I want to wipe that bad taste out of my mouth after a Brooklyn loss like that. So today, they're in Boston. We're playing the Celtics. It's very similar in a way to what was happening in the second game of the season, where Jaylen Brown is out again when we play them. Like they didn't have Jaylen Brown in the first game we played them, and they're not going to have him again. So this is good. This is good. It's like, honestly, in some ways, I'm more worried about Jaylen Brown than Jason Tatum in some ways because, well, first of all, Jaylen Brown's kind of been their leading scorer so far this season. He's been like putting up big games, big numbers here and there. And Tatum's been missing a lot. He misses a lot of shots. Like he's high usage and not making as many shots as he should. So, yeah, I'd much rather Tatum be their funnel and their guy they're trying to go-to guy, than having Brown kind of mix in with them. And of course, all the problems between them and Marcus Smart and different things and stuff like that. That's great. That's great because I see the team unity on the Raptors right now is really, really, really good. And if the Celtics aren't trusting each other and they're kind of like feeling like each other's selfish, that's good. That's a really good thing. We want that to kind of be that way. Now, the last time we played them, we really routed them. Like we came in with more energy. We scrapped them. We just out hustled them. We did everything right. And what their coach said was, we punked them. We came into their own building and punked them. Well, I want to see if we can punk them again. It's like, they're not, I don't know if they're not really a lazy team, but they are kind of like somebody who won't go all out. And maybe that there's a lack of general trust on the team among teammates. So I don't know, man. Boston's a weird team. They're like, in some ways, the NBA and the refs are really going to try and help them win. But if they're not good enough to win, they'll maybe give up on them at some point during the season and helping them. And then Boston will just be a crappy team. So we'll see. Yeah, MK's right. Good morning. They're underachievers, and there's a lot of teams like this year that are underachievers, and we're definitely not. And that's kind of like what our strength is, that we really need to blow people out and mess people up because they're underachieving and not trying or not together or not, really good with each other. Click 2 a.m. Good morning, man. Celtic players say they have a nasty flavor in their mouth after what we did to them. They're going to attack us with their best fight. We need to be ready to win this game. Yeah, they have payback on their minds for the home opener, for real, because that we beat them the worst that they've been beaten on their floor in like almost 20 years. Like they hadn't been beaten like that in Boston on their home court. Like we beat them the worst. And like since I think 2003 or something like that, it was their worst home loss in a while. So yeah, they're gonna be trying to pay us back. And no, Jaylen Brown didn't play in the second game. He was a scratch in that first game that we played. We haven't seen him yet. We're not gonna see him today, and we didn't see him in the first game either. He didn't play, from what I remember. All right. This is what we need. You know what? All right, our injuries aren't good either. Kem is out still. He's not going to play tonight or tomorrow against Philly. Thank goodness Embiid's out, but Drummond's still there. And we'll talk about that tomorrow. But Kem's not playing tonight, so I'm really worried about our down low. I really felt like even with Precious and Kem, that's not enough up front. That we need a third guy that can play center, just like because Kem's out now. Precious can't be considered our only center on the whole roster. That's messed up. We shouldn't have that. That's part of the reason why I valued Freddie Gillespie so much in the preseason, is because he knows our system and he does stuff. Sure, he's missing shots, but we could really use him right now at this point because he'd be helpful even if he's kind of crap in some ways, because he's just another big body to put out there and bang and all this kind of stuff. Because I really feel like we're undersized without Kem. Like Kem's really important. So it's tough. It's tough. All right, let's see. Click. Without Brown, doubling Tatum is going to be easier. We need to make sure we don't give him open threes when he kicks out on doubles. Yeah. And one of the things, I want to make a personal challenge to OG Anunoby today. I want him to decide something. I want you to decide that you have a personal vendetta with Jason Tatum, because it always seems like you do. And you guys are really fun to watch versus each other on the court. But I want you to take this to another level. I want you to take this to another level of anger and distrust and hatred towards Jason Tatum, because you need to get into a Mamba mode of your own. You need to get like Mike. You need to be like, take any kind of little slight, OG, and take it as motivation for you to get aggressive. Because in the second half against Brooklyn, you were nowhere to be found, and we needed you the most. And just because Pascal's back doesn't mean that you can loaf. You need to go out there and take care of scoring still, OG. And I really want you to get an aggressive mindset and be like, this is me versus the Celtics. This is me versus Jason Tatum. And I'm going to take this matchup and I'm going to win it. And I know that it's harder to do that against a guy like Kevin Durant and James Harden. It's hard enough just to try and stop them, to get the offensive stuff going on the other end. But this is something you should really try and do with this mindset, OG. You need to be aggressive. You need to be more like Mike. You need to take slights. You need to take things personally and really try and execute it on the court to get some revenge, like whether it's with dunks or whatever, man. But I just want to see more of a killer instinct from Mr. Anunoby that he could do with this. He's shown signs of aggression. Like when we see Mad OG, we see Mad OG. And we saw a little bit of Mad OG in the bubble against the Celtics in that 7-game series. And we seen it against them in the first game of this season. Him and Jason Tatum button up on each other and really taking it as a personal pow, pow, pow. And I love that. I love that rivalry. It's a great rivalry. Because of our teams are such rivals already. And to have two figureheads going pow, 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 pow. I love that. But I really want OG to take this seriously and come at this game with that kind of mentality. Like if you have to write stuff, put stuff on the bulletin board and look at it and be like, get mad. Get mad then. But just have some fire, man, and wake up and show up. Don't be a shadow man in the second half. You got to power us. You got to score for us all over the place. You're an important part of the offense for the Toronto Raptors, OG Anunoby, and you have to keep going. You can't just fade away and do the Homer Simpson into the hedge. We can't have you be doing that in games anymore like you did on Sunday. It was really, really bad. All right, let's see. MK, the stats say he played 28 minutes, had 9 points. We beat them full strength. I don't remember that. I really remember Jalen being out for that game for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, if you went back and looked at the box score, I thought he was out for the game against us, but maybe you're right. You know what it could be? You know what? You're right. He is. The only reason why I didn't think he played was because he sucks so bad. Because remember, in the first game he played, he got like the game before, he got like 40 points, 40-something points against New York. And then he didn't show up at all. So you're right, MK. I apologize. I owe you an apology. And you know why? I just forgot he played because he played so shitty. And he didn't do anything. So you're right. We beat them at full strength. Oh, my gosh. You're right. I don't know why I thought that Brown wasn't there for that one, too. I guess it really was that he really didn't do a whole lot. Okay, let's see. I think Scotty has a personal vendetta against Tatum. Ooh. All right, Scotty. Yesterday on his Instagram, he posted a picture of him hanging out with Damon Stoudemire. I don't know if you guys can see this basketball right here. This is a basketball I got at Canadian Tire in like 1995. This is an original Damon Stoudemire basketball from the beginning of the Raptors. It's not official or anything. It's number 20, and it's got a picture of him on it. And Damon's an important part of the Raptors' history. And I thought it was really cool to see on Instagram yesterday our most current rookie with our original rookie of the year. And you know what? Damon Stoudemire could rub some of that rookie of the year off on Scotty Barnes. Who knows? I mean, I don't care if Scotty wins rookie of the year. But that picture yesterday got me thinking, it's like, what if that's the original Raptors rookie of the year with the next rookie of the year coming up this year? And I think it's really cool that he was hanging out with Damon and kind of talking. I hope they're not talking too much about the game tonight, because Damon Stoudemire is an assistant coach for the Boston Celtics. But it's cool that past meets the present with the promise of the future with Scotty Barnes in that picture on Instagram with Damon Stoudemire. Really cool Raptor moment to me. It was really, really fun snapshot for me. All right, let's see. What else is going on? Do you think we start small today, MK? I hate that. I know I keep saying I hate that. I think that Precious deserves a start because Robert Williams is a very lanky, tall guy, and Al Horford is a big body. And I don't think we can do what we did against Brooklyn. I think that we need to start Precious today. And you know what? Precious said, he had a press conference yesterday. And once again, Precious just blew me away with what he was saying. And he said this actually, I saw this in the first preseason game when I went to see them play against Philadelphia, the very first game in the preseason at home. And before the game, I got there real early. Before the game, Precious and Cam were out there working the whole time. Like, I think it wasn't that game. It was the next week against Houston. They were out on the court working the whole time, and Ken was just pointing the spots on the floor and showing him positioning and stuff like that. And yesterday, Precious said in the press conference that he's been learning a ton of stuff from Cam, that he really looks up to Cam, that he knows that he's really good at defense and does a lot of good things, and he wants to be more like Cam. And I love that. I love that Precious is seeing that. And he said some cool stuff about not starting in the last game, and also not starting in the second half during the win streak. He's like, you know what? I can't complain. We were winning, and all I care about is winning and stuff like that. So I don't think Precious as much as a problem with his confidence and like what he's thinking about, whether he's coming off the bench or starting or not. I think he's got a really good attitude about it overall. And honestly, because, Kem's out and we don't have any other centers, he is super essential today. And super essential for us in this game, these two games coming up, because Philly's got big guys still too without Embiid. And, Boston's got some big guys that we're going to have to deal with. And I hate being a small team. So, you know what? It may be that they just start the same lineup from Sunday and have Pascal at center again. I'm just going to be like, oh, I hate that, because it takes away a lot of our mismatches, our good stuff. As they go down in the lineup, he's like, Pascal should be shooting over a shorter guy. OG should be playing against Tatum at the shooting guard. Stuff like that. I want that to line up. And with no center, it doesn't line up that way. Everybody has to play bigger guys. And I don't like that. Andrew. Let's go! Woo! 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 Let's beat the Celtics. All right. Click 2 a.m. That makes sense. Tatum was his welcome to the NBA moment, basically, so it makes sense why he wants to beat him. Yeah, I think that series in the bubble was really a grind, and there was a real animosity built between the two teams in that 7-game series with the physicality and the different stuff. And OG hitting that big shot right at the last second. There's a lot of history between us and the Celtics. Honestly, you guys, this is the crazy thing. That was the only time we've ever played the Celtics in the playoffs. And our whole history between the two teams was in that 7-game bubble series. So we really owe something against them. And let's just dominate them this year. Beat them both times on their court. And then when they come to Toronto later this year, we can beat them both times then. I love to sweep Boston this year. I know I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but why not? The things are lining up for us to possibly get the first two against them at home. And that's awesome. I want to do that. I really do. I want to dominate the Boston Celtics this NBA season. If we beat any other team every game this season, that's the team I want to beat. Oh, yeah. Andrew, is Pascal on a minute restriction, do you think? Yes, he is. He's only playing today. He will not be playing tomorrow. They're not going to have him in a back-to-back. So they've decided they want him to play against Boston, and they'll rest him against the Sixers tomorrow, which makes me think, because of that, they're going to start Precious for sure against Drummond. So that will be big tomorrow, at least, if we don't go big tonight, which I'm never a big fan of this. Let's see what our winning record is when we play small. And then maybe then I'll be like, Nick Nurse, hello, you're losing games when you play small. Come on now. All right, click 2 a.m. I can't wait to get a center in return for Dragic. Robert Williams is going to make it hard for us. Robert Williams would be great if he was on our team right now. Like, he would be a good fit for that too. But yeah, he's tough. He's been a Raptor killer other seasons. He didn't do so great against us in the first game of the season against them, but he's somebody that can really mess us up. He's kind of like one of these extra role players that gets extra points and second chance shots and puts them back, and it really messes us up. I don't want Robert Williams to do anything good today at all. So we got to body him, and we got to keep him boxed out on the offensive glass, because that's a big one. And that's another thing. We need to bounce back hard on the offensive glass from last game. And I hate to think that Kem Birch is such an important leader on the offensive glass that without him, we can't get our boards off the offensive glass like we have been so far this season. Like, that's something I'm going to be watching tonight, is how we're offensive rebounding, because Nick Nurse was really pissed off with the way our effort on the offensive glass from Sunday. And he wants that to be changed tonight. So let's see if we can do that without like Ken Burge. Scotty can do that. Like, he's a really good offensive rebounder too. So I don't know. All right, let's see. All right, Paul B. Yes, Paul. Another Celtics beatdown incoming. I would love to see that today. I would love to see that. And Jaylen Brown or no Jaylen Brown, there's another guy, Broderick Thomas. He's out. I think he's a rookie point guard. But other than that, all the other Celtics are there. They're more full strength than Philly. Tomorrow, Philly, we're going to see a Philly team with only 8 guys on the roster. They're playing with the minimum guys they can play with because they're all messed up with COVID right now. Oh, yeah, they are. MK47, with no center, we can play our 3 wings plus Trent and Fred VanVleet. Precious, Scotty, and Pascal aren't the best shooters. Playing them together is tough. Yeah. I mean, Scotty and Pascal's a good shooter. It's just, I think that he just had his first game back and he's got to get his rhythm. And there were a lot of good signs with what he did in the Sunday game. Seriously. Like, I know that he missed some stuff that he should have made and stuff like that, but he made stuff that was really good. Like, I really loved seeing him hit that 3 at the one point because that's Pascal, man. He can hit these threes all of a sudden. They're big shots. And all of a sudden he's got like 35 points and we're rolling. So I don't believe that Pascal's not a good shooter. I think he is. It's just he's got to get his rhythm, kind of like Gary Trent. Gary Trent still has not found his three-point rhythm yet. And if both of these guys can start hitting their threes, I mean, listen, Nick Nurse said yesterday we're 6-5, and he's really happy with where we are after 11 games, that like this is really good. And he sees all kinds of things that we can still clean up. That the potential is there. Like, our efficiency is still horrible. We've been bringing it up. Our efficiency in transition and like advantage fast breaks is still horrible. I mean, we're still not shooting a really good percentage from 3-pointers. We could clean that up and get our percentage on threes up a little higher. And, there's all kinds of other things that we can clean up in our offense that will make it more efficient. We'll be able to score better. Whether it's spacing, whether it's just getting more synergy and understanding between the players and how they like to pass between each other, all this stuff is going to improve and just get better and better. So this, like Nick Nurse said, our ceiling's super high and we're nowhere near it right now. We're nowhere near it, and he has super confidence that we're going to be a badass team more and more as the weeks go by. So I'm really excited about this because we've been ugly. We've been winning ugly and playing ugly and still winning in a lot of these games. And some of these games we've been losing, even though we played. We've been playing ugly. Yeah. Embiid is out. Embiid has COVID. He currently has COVID. Half the Sixers have COVID right now. Tobias Harris, Embiid, and I think there's 2 other guys. Let me just look at that real quick. It's really bad. Like, Philadelphia is all messed up, guys. Let's see. The whole list. Thibel's out. I know he's another one of them. Okay. Oh, now Seth Curry's been added to their day-to-day list. Seth Curry's day-to-day. Thibel's got COVID. Embiid's got COVID. Isaiah Joe's got COVID. Tobias Harris got COVID. Grant Riller's out. And, of course, Ben Simmons is on that list also. So, yeah, they ain't got nobody right now. Philly is in right for the picking, just like a nice juicy apple, just right there to just take. Yeah, they're ripe for the picking for sure. Yeah, Darren, I saw that. Let's go. All right, Darren, 7'2" and 905. Call him up. Yeah. I don't know. I've never seen the kid, and maybe it's too soon. I mean, I don't even know how many games the 905 have played so far. I don't think they played any. But bring them up. Why not? Just bring them up, at least to scare them. I mean, why can't Cleveland waive Taco Fall and we could get him or something like that all of a sudden, just for fun? Oh my gosh. We need to watch out playing Philly. I mean, honestly, maybe some of these other guys have COVID still lingering on the team and stuff like that. Like, Boston and Philly have been 2 of the teams that have really been hit by COVID the most so far this year. We're playing them tonight and tomorrow. All right, Andrew, we need to contain Robert Williams and Pritchard. They always kill us. Yeah, those are 2 role players that don't need to get no points. That little Pritchard guy, he really bugs me. Like, all of a sudden, he just like gets open and he's hitting threes and stuff. I hate that guy. He's like a little Neto kind of like Dellavedova, little bastard kind of guy. All right, Darren says Scotty's going to get career high tonight. I love that. Nobody stepped up in the last game to win the game against Brooklyn or do superstar stuff, maybe Scotty's like, you know what? Maybe I can try and do that superstar stuff, because he did it in earlier games. And I'd love to see that. I really would. I'd also like to see maybe if he's not going to do a lot of scoring, maybe he can really help us down low with the defense since Kem is out. Because honestly, in some ways, when we look at the bodies and the way they're built and they're stacked, even though he's a rookie and he's got his baby fat still and he's not really muscular yet, he's got more weight in some ways to push around people than Pascal. And maybe, I don't know about OG. OG's probably stronger and bigger than him still. But Scotty could be really important for us in the pivot in defense. Like, I'd like to see him play defensive center tonight, because he could do that against guys like Horford. Williams is a little tougher. Like, I'd rather have Precious and Chris Boucher run around with Williams, but we'll see. Very interesting. But yeah, if he gets a career high too, I'd like to see him do all of it or both, or one or the other. I'd like to see him do some big defensive things tonight with the rebounding too. So yeah, hopefully he has a real breakout. Hey, 30-point game for Scotty tonight. Let's see. Okay, MK Pritchard looks blind in his mask, so hopefully he's still wearing that thing. Yeah, those masks are always so funny, man. They're so funny. But yeah, I want him to miss all of his shots. Really good. Paul B says Vegas has the Celtics by 2. Well, I mean, Vegas has been really bad with predicting us all year so far and what we're really going to be doing. So I don't put a lot of stock into them. Click 2 a.m. Raptors went through the tough changes. This group will be together for a while and will develop continuity over the next couple seasons. The future is bright. We can keep adding on to what we have. Yeah. There's a lot here that's like, we're developing teams. We're on the down low, a rebuild, but doesn't mean we can't try and win while we're doing it. That's the whole way I look at it this way. It's like this is true. And maybe in some ways it is important to preserve and protect the health of these guys and not go all out to try and win because of things like that. But also at the same time, why not try and go all out and win? Because, you never know. You mess around, and by March, this team is just running on all cylinders and nobody can stop us. And we get good momentum and we have a really sealed defense with rebounding like we've been doing. And, we just can't be beat. It's not even that this team, they shouldn't be championship contenders. It's just the reality is you can't beat us. Because, first of all, you can't score on us, and we're scoring like really well because we figured out our offense finally. That's what I really think is going to happen over the course of this season, is that we're just going to get better and better. And if we're at our floor where we are, like these losses against Washington to start the season and the one against Brooklyn, the loss to Chicago, to Dallas, those were close losses other than the Brooklyn one and the first one. And, we could have won the Cleveland one too. And, we're only going to get better. That's what I'm saying, y'all. If this is our floor, just think about how high we can get with our ceiling. So, yeah, Tampa Bay 70. Come on, let's not even bring up the city of Tampa. Let's just not. No. They could go play in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's got good strip clubs. Like, honestly, I mean, maybe Harden should go play there. All right, let's see. Andrew, some Celtics lineups looked tiny against us last game. Yeah, I mean, overall, sure. I mean, they may beat us at the 5 with a little bit more height with Williams, but, the other positions, we're going to tower over them, maybe other than when Fred's out there with that one spot. Because, we really messed them up. We really agitated them. Nothing was easy for them in their home opener, and we really did punk them. As Udoka said, we punked their team, and they're going to try and punk us back in this game tonight. And, Marcus Smart didn't make any shots, I think, in the first game we played against them. He's going to be trying to make some shots tonight and look way better than he did in the first game, too. That's something we got to think about, too. And with Jaylen Brown out, I guess Marcus Smart gets more shots. He might get past 2 finally. All right, let's see. Darren, someone's going for 30+. We need one of our guys to get 30+. We just do. We should have somebody on the down low, whoever's getting close to it, in this third quarter, they need to try and get them even closer and keep feeding them. And I said this a couple days ago. I really want Fred to recommit himself to being a playmaker, assist point guard. I really want him to start getting into that John Stockton, Steve Nash, Jason Kidd kind of mode where he's trying to set up everybody. And maybe he's just trying to pass. Because his shot, take it if he's open. But I really want him to really think about that and try and get like 15 assists a game, stuff like that, because this is an area where we're lacking. We're not doing well in the assist area. We're near the bottom in the whole league for total assists and just assist efficiency, passing between players. So this is obviously an area where we can really jump off of where we are right now and get higher and improve, is if we just get better ball movement and better passing between guys. And I think Fred is the guy, the catalyst that sets the standard for that. And I just wish he would do more of that. I mean, we need him to score too, of course. But I really want him to go back to that old school point guard mentality. Be more like Damon Stoudemire in some ways, because Damon was doing a lot of passing back in the day as a rookie for the Raptors. So, yeah. All right, let's see. Yeah, Andrew, I like what I heard from Fred. He says he's going for all the awards this year. Yeah, Freddie, do it all, man. Do it all. Get a bunch of triple doubles for us. Lead our team in assists. Be our best 3-point shooter. Do it all, Fred. I want to see Fred play at a high level, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he scores a lot. Him playing at a high level is doing a lot of like important leadership stuff and making sure the other guys are getting easy shots. That's the high level that I see for him. Because easy shots for the other guys, for sure. MK, I guess our starting lineup depends on whether we play two centers. Yeah, it's tough, man. I hate this. I feel like this is some way we're shadow banned from having centers these last 2 years. Like Mark and Serge left, and everybody's like, well, the Raptors were so good because they had real good centers down low. Let's not let them have centers like in the free agency market or anything like that. Why can't we get centers? Masai, Bobby, why can't we get more centers? Can we have 3 or 4 centers on our roster? Most teams have 3 or 4 centers on their roster, and we got like one center, 2 guys that add up to a center. And I'm sick of it. Last year, the Baines, Len stuff was garbage. We finally got Kem Birch and Gillespie, and things were going all right. And I still didn't think that was enough, because you lose one, like we've lost Kem Birch this week. And where are we down low? Come on. We need depth. We have depth all over the place. And I know you think this length overall is depth, but we still need another big pivot. I'm a big firm believer in having a big basketball team. And when you lose your big guy, you need to have another big guy. And we don't have another big guy right now. Precious is a power forward that's getting away with playing center. We don't have a center right now, and that's messed up. I don't like that at all. We need a center. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, wow. You guys are just filling it up. I hope that's what the Raptors do with the basket tonight. Fill it up. Let's see. All right, I got to catch up here. William Liu. He did an interview. Oh yeah, he did an interview. Fred's been doing so much media lately. He did his new podcast is out. I think he just appeared on the Steven Jackson's podcast, him and Matt Barnes. And I guess there's an interview out with William Liu. William Liu is a great guy who covers the Raptors. I have so much respect and love for William Liu. And he's somebody that I think that any Raptor fan can trust and listen to, and he'll give you a good, fair opinion and coverage of the team. And he's somebody that I endorse. So let's see. Andrew, yeah, Fred did an interview the other day, and he says he wants all defense all-star this year. Wow. Okay, Fred, go on then. I still think you're playing too many minutes, like we said yesterday, and we need to be more equal with everybody's minutes, because this is the thing. If we can go all out in short bursts, then our defense is really, really good. But what happens when you play a lot of minutes, Fred, is that at some point you drag down our defense because you're tired. And you can't give that kind of effort that you can give like fully on the defense all the time. And I don't like that. That's why I want Malachi to get more burn. That's why I want Delano to eat in your minutes. And it's not like we don't have options to keep you off the floor for certain amounts of time. You play 30 to 35 minutes a game. That's fine. But you shouldn't be the leader in the NBA in minutes played. No, man. Because first of all, you're not producing the efficiency enough to be that kind of guy. And some people are saying, oh, we need him out there for leadership and stability and stuff like that because we don't have certain other players out on the court. I don't believe that. I believe that we can throw our young guys a little bit to the fire because they're special. Like we can get Delano out there and give him expended minutes. If he messes up, then bring Malachi in or even Goran. Why not bring Goran in a little bit just to get some time for these guys? Because I feel like it's much more important that we go all out all the time and just stifle and be like energy bursting all over the place in short periods and take guys out quick and fast. The rotation should be like that because that's a strength for us. I've always said this over the years. We get these really good deep benches, deep teams with lots of talent, and then Nick does an 8-man rotation. And he has guys getting 35 minutes a game. I hate that. I think you really need to play into your strengths, Nick Nurse. And one of your strengths is your depth. And you're not using it correctly when you're only using 8 guys in a game. I really believe that. That's true. All right, let's see. I think Raptors D is holding Smart to 0 points again. I hope so. That'd be great. Tatum, it's over. OG and Scotty, yeah. Clamp them down. I like that. And we have had success with Jason Tatum. He's the kind of player where we can really agitate him because he's we can get to him. And like somebody said earlier, this is a team that's kind of lazy. Boston doesn't try in some ways. Yeah, William Liu, best interviewer. He's good. And his buddy Alex Wong's really good too. They're on the radio now. Nick Nurse doesn't care about the assists. Yeah, he did say that. That's not a really big deal. He did make fun of that question. Well, you know what? In that press conference, I know you're talking about, Darren, because I watched it too. And you can't hear the interviewer. Did you notice that interviewer talked for like 5 minutes with their question? And Nick was just kind of like sitting there and like he'd react a little bit and he'd be like this. And then he finally was like blew him off. Well, that's because that was one of those idiots, probably from Raptor Republic, or I don't even know what entity they were from. But basically that question was, do you know that your team is last in the whole entire league in assists? And he like asking, putting them down. He's basically putting them down in an indirect way. And that's why Nick Nurse talked to him that way. And I love that. I didn't hear the question. I didn't hear the little stupid shit that the guy asked. But I love that he did that. Like that he said, I don't care. You know, we're winning. We're 6-5. I'm happy about this team. And, you know, but in all reality, Darren, this is an area where we could improve and get better, even if Nick doesn't want to admit that. But I really like that they have some edge against some of these reporters that come at them with negative slants and dumb shit like that. They asked that question to who was the other one that got up there and they asked that to also? Gary Trent. They asked Gary Trent that question too. You know what? And he just like, he's like, I don't know. I don't care. It's the same thing. Some think they're funny or they try and get under their skin. They're like, you know, negative like that. And I love that the Raptors and their players, coaches are treating them with disdain because they should. You come at me with that kind of question. You want to ask me about that, all the other things we're doing right, then yeah, treat them that way. I love that. And it was really cool. Yeah, that was fun. I wish they'd get the mic on those idiots though, so we could hear their questions. It's so hard to understand what's going on. It's like we're watching a weird Jeopardy game or something like that. I don't know. Paul, hopefully Precious cleans up his game. He acknowledged looking for his offense led to bad defense too. So hopefully he plays within the flow of the game better tonight. Yeah, like I said, yesterday he was talking about working with Kem a lot. And, you know, that could be a big thing, like where he kind of lets the offense come to him. Because what happens is if he goes too aggressive, he loses the ball or he looks bad on offense, he gets out of his head. And then I've noticed on the other end, he doesn't do his assignments as well on defense. So this is a big deal. He really needs to figure out how to separate them. Or just maybe he needs to just build the building blocks off his defense. Just work on playing really good defense, Precious, and your offense will come some way or another. You can be a garbage man around the basket. You're going to get baskets just from offensive rebounds and putbacks. And if we set up some pick and rolls for you at times, or you get the ball down low and get a chance to attack the basket, that's good. But otherwise, maybe you just focus solely on holding it down. Like being that guy near the basket that's holding it down, the last line of defense for us. And that's much better basic building block to build off of. Be like OG. That's what OG did. He built off of his defense in his game, and his offense came later. So, yeah, I really, really love the synergy and the way they're talking, Precious and Kem, from what Precious said yesterday, that he's taking it seriously. And if Precious can learn some of the stuff that Kem does and start doing it, this will be so great. Just think about how nasty Precious could become as a player. Because his talent ceiling is way higher than Kem's in a lot of ways. I mean, they were calling Precious the next Giannis Antetokounmpo a couple years ago. Like, they think that he's that kind of talent level. like with his offense and his defense, his body type and all that kind of stuff. So let's see what else is going on. Darren, yeah, he's doing work. Listen to Kim. He's doubling tonight. Yeah, he'll double tonight. I'm pretty sure he will. Like he's going to get the minutes, first of all, because we need him out there. And yeah, if he just gets the rebounds and some putbacks and all of a sudden he's got 12 and 12, that's great. Andrew, once Precious figures out he's in the NBA and not the NFL, he'll be fine. Boy, talking about WWF this week with that Denver-Miami game. Holy cow. Wow. Like, Kyle, what a wild year he's having. Like, his own teammate makes him roll his own ankle. And then he's hanging out outside opposing visitors' locker room for fights and stuff like that now. Wow. Kyle's got a wild life down in Miami. I'm not going to lie. He's living it up there down. But the other thing is, if you look at some of the stat boxes for the Miami games, you see Kyle's stats. You're like, oh, yeah, that's a classic Lowry line. 0 points, 9 assists, stuff like that. He's doing stuff like that still. Like he's not playing any better for Miami than he did for us last year. He has his big games and shines and stuff like that. But there's a lot of games where he's just kind of like, hanging around. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, let's see. Where are we here now? Darren, yeah. Look bad versus Nets. He was cooked. Are you talking about Precious or I'm not sure, because Precious was one of the few guys I thought looked good against the Nets just because he was so aggressive and we needed that aggressiveness. Nobody else was being aggressive. So we see, Fred had bad legs. Oh, yeah, Fred looked bad against the Nets. Yeah, he did. He lost his legs in that. He didn't take a leadership role in the second half and facilitate OG or Scotty or any of the other guys to get some points. Paul, also, Svi needs a makeup game. It's one thing to miss shots, and another, though, to look completely lost on defense and leave Harden wide open. Yeah, he had a bad game. I mean, but I don't expect him to tonight, and I think he'll be pretty good. The only thing I really want from Svi is to make his open threes. That's the most important thing to me. Like, he needs to be counted on that if he's open, that's automatic. And, if he gets a steal, which it seems like he's pretty good to get at least a steal, one steal a game, that's great. That adds to it all, and his pressure on defense. But ultimately, the most important thing to me really is he has to make his open threes. We really need to be able to count on him to nail those, because they've been really good to carry us with our offense at different times so far this season when we're having trouble scoring. So, all right, let's see. Darren, the long questions. Yeah, seriously, that dude asked that question, and it went on for like 5 minutes. I saw Nick go like this. He was like, it was hilarious. And you could tell he was annoying him. Oh, yeah. See, some of these reporters think that they're superstars and their ego. And like some of the content that's being made, like people don't want to be wrong about the Raptors. So they'll argue the point that like to beat it over your head, even though they're completely wrong, just to save their own ego. It's so crazy. But yes, that reporter just like to hear themselves talk. It's probably why it was like going on and on and on. And they're like, okay, when you're done, call me. I'll be in the other room. Andrew, Nick won a championship. He doesn't need to take crap from some reporter. No, none of these guys do. No athlete should ever take crap from a reporter. It's good when they stand up to him. I love those surly, sour athlete like interactions with reporters when they're just like, you know what? Just F you, get out of my face or something. This interview's over and they walk away or something like that kind of stuff. But we're very nice to the reporters for the most part. And sometimes the reporters gaslight us a little bit. Like they'll ask a little questions, I'm like, why do you ask him that? Why'd you ask him like that question about Scotty being loud on the bench? Lewinberg asked. I was like, what is that, man? Don't worry about that. Come on. All right, let's see. Andrew, the audio engineer on this press conference sucks. Yeah, we're a world-class organization. Okay, there's that dog that always barks at me when they walk by. I think he can hear me in here going off, and he's like, all right. But yeah, we're a world-class organization. Why don't we have microphones for the press corps when they ask questions to the coaches in the league? Because we don't know what they're asking. It's kind of almost like when we hear the answers, it's like a fun puzzle game of trying to figure out which player they're talking about. Like, it's in some ways I enjoy it, but in some ways it's like it would be a lot more accessible and good if we could hear the questions also. So who knows? All right, Darren, Yeah, I'd love to hear Nick Nurse talk about reporters what he really thinks. Yeah, well, you can kind of tell which ones that they like and which ones they don't. Like they have good relationships with a lot of the press. The press here, they like a lot of them, but some of them they don't. They don't. No, Michael Grange is on. He's kind of getting back in their good graces this year, but he's been on their outs for a long time for just dumb stuff. Paul says he's Team Jokic to the Raptors. Yeah, I don't know. Jokic seems to be connected with Eastern European mafia right now. Something's going on. I know these Jokic brothers are serious dudes. Like, you don't want to mess with them. And like this whole idea of the Morris twins versus the Jokic brothers, somebody put a WWF graphic with them versus each other at WrestleMania or something like that. It's crazy. Like, we don't need this kind of stuff in the NBA. This thuggery and this kind of like war games and stuff like that. And the Morris mother came in and told her sons to stop sniping on Twitter. And you know, these guys from Serbia, they're talking like they're going to come and get them. And we don't need this, especially in the climate the U.S. has had in the last couple of years with different things. We don't need this kind of stuff. So just let it go. Jokic knew he was wrong. And honestly, Morris was wrong too. They're both wrong. And, you know, honestly, Morris did a big acting job with that hit. I mean, he hit him, yeah, and it was wrong, and he really milked it. But, you know, and even people like Leo Routens is saying today that, you know, when you hit somebody like that and turn your back on somebody like that, that's a big disrespectful thing. And the player has to hit you if you do that. Like that's just code in basketball. I don't totally believe in that or trust that either, because like Jokic is a big dude. He can handle a lot, but he was frustrated. It's just the drama. I'm just glad we don't have this kind of drama. We don't need this kind of drama. No, we don't. So yeah, but Jokic would be great in a Raptors uniform. I'd love that. That's a great idea, Paul. Let's figure it out. Yeah, that feud it's insane. Jokic should hit him. I thought he hit him pretty good, but he really did act. The way he laid there for a while and all this kind of stuff. Come on. And Jimmy Butler was hilarious in that whole thing too. Like he's like, "Oh, I want you. Hold me back. Oh, I want you. Hold me back." You know, he's like he didn't want to go after him. He was like, "Oh my gosh." And then the whole thing later, like I was just saying, where they're waiting outside. Come on, guys. Morris is out with whiplash. Oh my gosh. And I know Jokic got at least one game suspension, something like that. Yeah. You know, the Morris brothers have been dirty for a long time. I mean, that clip of one Morris with OG is resurfacing lately, like where they were pushing and scrapping with each other and stuff like that. Really interesting, like stuff. All right, we don't want to go too much into the Miami Heat Denver Nuggets feud going on right now, because it's going to be interesting when they play each other again later this season. That's going to be a really interesting game. And also when Denver has to play the Clippers, with the other Morris brother being on that team, that's going to be an interesting game also. But yeah, geez, trying to injure Luka in the playoffs. Okay, just getting back to the preview real quick. They just played Luka, the Celtics, on Saturday. That's the last game they played. So they've been sitting for 3 days. They're off for a long time. So both teams are going to be fresh. And Luka beat them in a last second shot on Saturday. They beat them by 3. And so the Celtics have been losing close games. They've actually been looking pretty good. Like they've had some really good games. Like they beat Orlando and Miami at their arenas, but they still haven't won in Boston yet. It's amazing that they haven't won a single game on their home court so far this season. Like that, Boston used to be such a really treacherous home court to try and win on, and this year people are just eating them up in their own home court. So hopefully they're going to try and mess. They're going to try and mess us up, but hopefully we can just hold them off and replicate the game against them already this season. That'd be really good. Darren, Grange is yeah. Well, they have Grange doing that job for a purpose, like the way he is and stuff like that. But that would be cool. William Lou being more important in Sportsnet media for the Raptors, taking Grange's spot eventually. That'd be great. I'm all for that. All right, guys. Boston, we hate them. We want to beat them. We don't care if our rookie of the year from our first year, Damon Stoudemire, is an assistant coach for them, and he's friends with Scotty Barnes. We don't care if Ime Udoka thought we punked them and that they don't want to get punked again, and they want to they want to punk us back. We don't care if Jaylen Brown's not playing. We don't care if Marcus Smart's not getting the ball passed to him. We don't care if Jason Tatum's whining and getting technicals because we're just defensive guarding him and stopping him all over the place. What we care about is getting that W. We care about OG Anunoby stepping up. We care about having some sort of center play down low. And we care about Nick Nurse having quick, tight rotations, which keeps the team quick and energy bursting all over the place and just messing people up. All right, let's go. Let's beat the Celtics again tonight in Boston again, so we can say we beat them both times in Boston this year. That's a huge accomplishment, and I think we can really, really, truly do it. We just need to jump all over them and not let up with our energy. And if we do that, we will be successful and we will beat them. I am all for getting both these games now. Philly's going to be ripe for the picking tomorrow when we go there tomorrow. But let's get Boston first because we always got – we want to beat up on that green, and we want to punk them all over again. We want to do more than punking them this time. We want to just route and ream them out of the building where they don't even want to play in their building anymore because they know that their building starts with the name Toronto on it. Oh, yeah. That's the Toronto Dominion Arena, and we will own that arena once again because we are Toronto Raptors, and our bank owns your arena, bud.